Just greet everyone. Hello, hello, wherever you are. This is the Soul Dive. My name is Lebo. I am so pleased that you got to be with us today. We love, love, love any time that we get to spend time with you soul diving. I am not alone today. I am with Bridget Edwards, and I will tell you some more about her a little bit later. In soul dive fashion, let us go ahead and have our check-in for the evening. Remember, this is a time to look after yourself, to ground yourself in the moment, to pull yourself towards yourself. And in this time, you are not all of the labels that describe you. You are not mom, employee, or anything. You are not boss babe. You are just the sovereign soul connecting with all of us all over where we are, and connecting most importantly with yourself. Right, so I invite you to take 4 deep breaths. So that's heavy breaths. Breathing in through the mouth, out through the mouth as well. Just heavy cleansing breaths. Give yourself permission to relax, relax, relax. Giving an instruction to all of your body to relax. Now finding your normal rhythm of breath. If your breath is shallow, you are with it. If your breath is rapid, you are with it. If you're breathing through your nose, you are aware that you're breathing through your nose. Breathing through your mouth, you're aware that you're breathing through your mouth. Bring your attention to where your breath is at the moment. If you can feel it cool coming into your nose, warm going out, find your natural rhythm of breath. You are breathing just like normal, bringing your attention completely to your breath. Now go ahead and place a hand on your heart. Feel the warmth of your hand over your heart. Your mind, go ahead and bring yourself to focus on your breath. As thoughts come and thoughts go, bring yourself smilingly back to your breath, becoming aware of where you feel your breath the most, whether it's on your nose, whether it's in your mouth, whether it's on your chest, while keeping your hand over your heart, that warm hand over your heart. Give yourself permission to relax even deeper. Relax, relax. Breathe. Just be with your breath. Relaxed and just being with your breath. Go ahead and feel your heartbeat while you are breathing. Mind focused on your breath, and also just aware from your hand of your heartbeat. These are the things that ground us and give us permission to be in this planet as these beings that we are. Our awareness of them is our awareness of ourselves on the most fundamental, basic level. Now, as you breathe in, feel through your body. If there's any part that feels a little bit tired or kinked or anything like that, pull your in-breath and imagine it going into that space in yourself. Breathing directly into your back. If your lower back is a little bit sore, making sure that you keep your feet grounded, aware of your breath, aware of your heartbeat, aware of how little you have to do to make them work, aware of how they just automatically do what is right and know how to keep you going. Allow your heart to be filled with a sense of gratitude over all the things that go right without your knowledge or your interference. All the things that happen to make your life work that you don't have to do anything about. Smile. Now, silently or out loud, say these words with me. I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. Your next breath, go ahead and raise your hands up above your head in a stretch, stretching out, raising the hands. As you breathe out, bring your hands over your chest, cross them over, palm over shoulder, and give yourself a nice big squeezy hug. Remember that you can always look after yourself in this way. Let's pay the bills. Let's see. We've got apologies, something dropped. We've got a read on advert. If you are looking for online business opportunities, look no further. Go to www.readybusiness.co.za. That's if you would like an opportunity for your own online store. They are created for you on www.readybusiness.co.za. Hello. Hello, Bridget.
Hi, Lebo. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Welcome very much. Welcome to the Soul Dive.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful meditation that was. I could just feel myself just relaxing. That was beautiful. Thank you.
That's brilliant. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. Now, Soul Diver, this is Bridget Edwards. She is an author. She is a deep, sensitive soul that looks for opportunities to help others, to hold space for them, to give healing to them through her own experiences, having learned from her own adventures how to self-heal. She's extended that and is now actually an emotional well-being catalyst. I think I've introduced you a little bit, but there is so much more to you, just like all of us. Do you want to tell us one or two things that you're really particularly proud of about yourself, that so I don't miss the opportunity to celebrate that?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Lebo. Yeah, one of the things I really am proud of is, other than the work I do helping people and heal them, is the book I wrote, Stress Gone. There we are. Especially because I was dyslexic or considered dyslexic as a child. I never thought that writing a book would ever be on my agenda. So yeah, that is something I'm really, really proud of. Thank you.
It's almost like being dyslexic is a precursor for actually being wildly successful later. I mean, how many famous, successful have had dyslexia? Like the thing, it's a classic David and Goliath thing where the thing that we considered to be our weakness has become our strength, and maybe sometimes our protector from a world that thinks in a sheep mentality, following the norm and stuff like that, you know? Because you're already dyslexic, you might as well go short-lived.
100%
We're
right.
talking.
Yeah, you're so right.
How have you found it though, the transition from actually like taking charge of the definition of yourself, not as a dyslexic person, but as a very able person? How did that work for you?
Well, I have to say that I didn't know I was dyslexic as a kid. I just knew that I had a problem in the classroom, and I really struggled reading and writing and comprehending. And how that worked out for me, Lebo, was that I learned to listen. I learned to pay attention to all the other signs around me, which has been hugely beneficial in the work I do now. So, and then years later, when I was in my early 20s, I took myself off to night school. I'd moved up to Johannesburg And being in the business world, I was like, oh, well, I cannot live without being able to read and write properly. And, you know, I needed to be able to keep up. So I took myself off to night school. And at night school, that's when they said to me, you're not dyslexic. And I was like, oh, wow, is that what's been the problem all along? And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So they sent me to an optometrist who checked my eyes. And the first thing he said to me when he saw the movements of my eyes, he said to me, you had a lot of stress as a child. And I was like, how do you know? He said, I can see from the movement of your eyes. That's why they're bouncing all over the show. So instead of reading like normally across a straight line, my eyes were up and down. So they were picking up letters all over. So very quickly, he gave me some exercises to do. And very quickly, within a short few months, I could read normally. And then my speed started to pick up. Magazines came alive, books came alive. My whole world changed. And that was in my early 20s.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow. Then I could actually start taking on things as opposed to just listening and really focusing and paying attention, which I'm so grateful for, because that has helped me so much as a therapist now, because I'm watching for things that happen on a non-verbal level with the person I'm working with. But actually, then once I fixed this and we healed this mechanical eye problem, I started reading books. I started devouring books. I caught up my speed of reading. So actually that opened up a whole new world for me in a totally adventurous way. So it was quite a weird cycle of events that really, you know, if I can say divinely inspired, because had I not had this disability as a young girl, I wouldn't have developed the empathy and the highly sensitive stuff that I've developed for the therapy work I do today. So actually it was a huge blessing.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is brilliant. You know, you've just brought up something that I've never made a link with, that in actual fact, a lot of what we consider dyslexia also has to do with stress. But of course, you talk a lot about stress. I've heard you a number of times say your entire life is defined by stress. I want you to just tell us a little bit about, you know, where you grew up and that kind of thing. You've told us about your coming of age and going into finding your calling. But I'd really like to know a little bit more about you as a person, just like, you know, yeah, talk some more about that.
Perfect, thank you. So I grew up I was actually born in the Eastern Cape and spoke Xhosa before I could speak English, much to the horror of my mother, because she didn't understand a word I was saying as a little kid. Then my parents moved up to KZN and I learned to speak Zulu on the farm there, which I've forgotten all of that now, because what you don't use, you kind of lose, sadly.
Hold up. You are living in this country with so many people that speak Xhosa and Zulu and you've lost it?
Yeah, I can pick up things and I can understand things, you know, and when I immerse myself back into the culture of being amongst Zulu or Xhosa people and I really hear it, then things come back. But, you know, in my day-to-day life, I'm speaking so much English. So yeah, that's kind of my mother tongue actually. But I really, when I go back into the rural areas and I'm really immersed, I pick it up really, really quickly. It kind of comes back to me. So yes, and then my parents divorced when I was young, and the relationship I had as a young girl with my father, I developed duodenal ulcers. I was shipped off to boarding school when I was 6 years old until my matric. So that caused me a lot of distress and a lot of unease and discomfort. As a result of that, now that I understand post-traumatic stress the way I do, I believe I developed post-traumatic stress very early on. Then I got married to a childhood or a high school sweetheart, and that was a highly abusive relationship, very violent, which added to the stress that I already had. Whilst I was going through my divorce with him, my only brother was killed in a car accident, just to compound the stress. And then a few short years after that, my mom succumbed to cancer and she passed away. So that all happened, Lebo, literally by the time I was 26, 27 or so. So really in my young years, I went through a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I'm curious.
Well, that also, you know, the school not, you know, understanding. that really
course.
compounded things. So that's why I say that my early years were defined by trauma and stress, which is why I do what I do
Yeah,
today, because I
yeah,
understand it
yeah.
so well.